Mr. Speaker, the Phoenix Sinclair inquiry is revealing how the NDP's management of the Child and Family Service system failed a little girl who was tortured and killed. And yet the children's advocate, Darlene MacDonald, declined the opportunity to seek standing at the inquiry. She publicly called the costs of the inquiry wasteful. The NDP have broken the sacred trust Aboriginal leadership placed in them to properly oversee the devolution of Child and Family Service to Aboriginal child welfare agencies. Today, I welcome to the gallery Grand Chief Derek Nepanak, Brennan Menakisiak representing Grand Chief David Harper, and Gerald McIver representing Grand Chief Murray Clearscott. They prepared the petition I submitted today calling for the removal or suspension of children's advocate Darlene MacDonald. Mr. Speaker, I ask the NDP government, will they remove children's advocate Darlene MacDonald?
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, and I also want to welcome the chiefs that are in attendance today. I've had many meetings with them where we've had constructive conversations on the issues of child welfare and what we need to do together to strengthen that system, but also strengthen the communities that we're all accountable to. I do want to remind the member, I think as he knows, that the Children's Advocate is an officer of the legislature. She's not my employee. She doesn't report to the government. She reports to the entire legislature. And I would also remind him that he was on the committee that selected her, that hired her. As he was on that committee, he would have been fully aware of her employment history at the time that she was hired. He had no objection to her hiring that I can recall, having been on that committee. He is welcome to voice his objections now, and other people are welcome to voice their objections now. I believe that it would send a very, very alarming message to the independent officers of this legislature if they thought this legislature was going to fire them every time a member disagreed with what they said.
Order, please.
Mr. Speaker, I think we made a mistake when we hired Darlene MacDonald, and the fact of the matter is what has happened since then is this. The Phoenix Sinclair inquiry is the most important look at our child and family service system in a generation. We need to take the opportunity to improve the system and fight hard for the better lives for the children of our province, as the Manitoba Grand Chiefs want. And yet, unfortunately, the person who should be standing up impartially and strongly for children, the children's advocate, Darlene MacDonald, has declined the opportunity to seek standing at the inquiry and has publicly called the costs of the inquiry wasteful. I ask the NDP government, will they act to remove the children's advocate, Darlene MacDonald, from her position for failing to support the Phoenix Sinclair inquiry and for her failure to stand up for children like Phoenix Sinclair
who have
suffered because...
Order, please. Member's time has expired.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I have to say that I think everyone in this province is going through a very painful experience hearing every day the circumstances of the life and the unspeakably tragic death of Phoenix Sinclair. I feel that kind of sadness and anger as I hear what happened. I felt it, when I first became minister and I got to read that history. And I think we're all going through that kind of pain. We called the inquiry because we believed that it was necessary to have a full and complete airing of what happened, to learn what more changes can be made to the system to improve it. I will remind the member that Ms. MacDonald did say that she believed the public has a right to know what went on in this situation. That's exactly why we called the inquiry. We are going to watch the inquiry proceed, and we will continue to commit ourselves to the actions necessary to improve the system for all of our children.
Mr. Speaker, we want the best. We want somebody in the Children's Advocate who is standing up for children, not for the system. Darlene MacDonald's comments on the Phoenix Sinclair inquiry being wasteful showed a bias, potential conflict of interest with the Office of the Children's Advocate at the inquiry. On June 11th and 12th, I called upon the Minister of Family Services and Labour and upon the Premier to ask for the resignation of Darlene MacDonald. The Minister declined to seek her resignation and actually defended her. Around this time, the three Grand Chiefs jointly sought a meeting with the Premier to discuss Darlene MacDonald's resignation or removal from her office, and the Premier didn't even respond. I asked the Minister, Will she act today to remove Darlene MacDonald as the Manitoba Children's Advocate? Will she join me in calling for this change?
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I think it's very regrettable that the member has chosen this road, but he has chosen it. I will remind him once again that the Children's Advocate is an independent officer of the legislature, of the entire legislature. The entire legislature is responsible for that appointment. He participated in that appointment. He fully knew her employment history at that time. He raised no objection. It's fine today. He says he made a mistake. But I have to say that my belief is that if it becomes the practice of this legislature to fire an independent officer every time we don't agree with something that that independent officer has said, then no independent officer will be able to hold any of us to account. And that, I don't think, is going to serve the people of Manitoba well or this legislature well. So he is welcome to his position. I understand it. I respect the position of the chiefs. We've had many meetings on many issues with both me and the Premier when it comes to child welfare, but I must respectfully disagree with him on this point.